Will the Veterans Advisory Committee for the City of Sebastian now come to order? We stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May we have a call of the roll, please?
Michael Heesh is absent. Pete Guzzo is representing the American Legion.
Yes.
Jerry Peeler.
Here.
Wayne Newland, Chairman.
Here.
Shar Kinlan, representing the Ladies Auxiliary, is absent. And Bernie Giordin.
Here.
Thank you.
We have a quorum? Okay. We're looking for approval for the minutes of the past meeting, which was October 5th, 2015. Do we have a motion to accept?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded that the minutes be approved. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. At this time, it calls for public input, but we're going to hold you gentlemen from Firehouse for just a few moments, okay? All right, fine. Let's go right into the sewer project update. Commander Peeler?
Yes, they started digging sewer lines last week. They've got one tank in on the American Legion property. They've dug all the way around to the VFW so far, so it looks like we're making headway right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Griffin, you have any thing to put in on this?
I'd just like, is there an updated completion date so I can advise council, because they have asked me behind the scenes
He said about 2 weeks, Joe.
2 more weeks?
About
That's
2
it?
weeks to
Well,
get everything in.
Does that doesn't include the connection to the force main on 512, does it?
I'm not sure about that.
Because
now.
that was supposed to be done by the county.
Oh, yeah.
The county was gonna run that line, northbound from 512 up the, would that be, the east side of, Louisiana?
Mm-hmm.
And, is there any coordination between the county and y'all as far as, to get that done? Because they were the ones who were supposed to be doing
As
that.
far as I know, Todd Smith said he had everything lined up to go just as soon as he could get the people in there to start doing it.
So you're
Okay.
confident me telling the council 2 weeks to a month
Yeah, I know.
for
A year.
VFW Legion's portion of it,
Mm-hmm.
that should do it. Okay,
Okay.
thank you, sir.
Well, this has been a long time coming, but we're so glad to see progress actually being made, and we'll be even happier to be connected, I can assure you.
Yep.
Is there any other unfinished business that anybody's aware of? Okay, new business. The weekend of Memorial Day, the Sea Scouts will again, for the 4th time, be hosting the Sebastian Historic Trail. It goes through Old Roseland and then comes through Old Sebastian. 2 years ago, we had 83 people hike it. 81 of them camped at the American Legion. We have no idea how many are going to be there this year. Probably not that many, but the way this works is that we the American Legion supplies free camping to the scouts on the property of the, Legion. And Saturday morning, they hike, in segments of about 15 to 20 people, through Old Roseland and then through Old, Sebastian. And then they come, they wind up at the VFW, which just coincidentally is the end of the hike as laid out in 1997. The VFW supplies lunch free to the scouts. They go take down their tents. Then they go to Sebastian Cemetery and complete the requirements for the Historic Trail Award for the Boy Scouts of America. And they make sure that all the flags are put up for the veterans. Now, we realize that the Cub Scouts put up most of the flags, but they miss some. They try, but we go past and make sure that all of them are up. And we're done probably about 1:30, 2 o'clock. So it's been very successful over the past 3 years. We expect a good crowd this year, but until they actually show up, frankly, we don't know how many are coming because we don't have a reservation ahead of time. If we have a reservation ahead of time, then we have to go through a long litany of rules and regulations with the Gulfstream Council of the Boy Scouts and so forth that really don't apply to us. So we just say, y'all come, and as they show up, we find places for them to camp. And the only thing Friday night that we have is a retirement of flags over at the VFW. And that's at 9 o'clock. So if there's anybody that's concerned about a fire in the fire pit at the VFW at 9 o'clock on Friday night before Memorial Day, we're burning flags, that's all. So we'll advise the police department that we're going to be doing this, and we've been very successful in crossing the highways without the police help. I'm sure that they would like to be able to provide us crossing guards, but we'll pass on that as usual. Is there anything that the city wants us to have this year that we have not had in the past?
Well, I'm sure you have the fire extinguishers near the fire pit, correct?
Oh, yeah, that goes without saying. Yeah, thank you very much for that thought. But we have had fire extinguishers in the past, and we'll do that. But again, it's worked well in the past, and will continue. Okay. We got spoiled. This is item 2 under number 7. We got spoiled over the past year. The city has been extraordinarily good about closing off the road along Memorial area, Indian River Drive. And during the Four Chaplains ceremony, that got dropped. There was traffic passed, motorcycles, trucks, and so forth, and it disrupted the very solemn occasion of the Four Chaplains ceremony. Is there something we can do to help with the communication line to make sure that road is closed off as per our agreement in the past? Or what can we do, Mr. Griffin?
May I make a comment?
Yes.
Before Joe answers that? The police department normally goes down there.
Turn on.
Phone.
Oh, yeah, let's get it here. Let's see. Sebastian Police Department is usually notified, and they will go down there and have a traffic control for the offense, as well as the city parks is notified. I was down there on a special escort for the veterans, but I don't believe that the people who had run the show at that time requested. You had to make a request to city parks and to the police department so that they can have time enough to do what's necessary.
Okay.
I did inquire about that, and that's what I was told. Now, Joe, I'll leave it to you.
Mr. Giordano is absolutely correct. I, received notice that they were going to do it occurs to me, I think it was done on, have the, Four Chaplains Memorial, I think it was on the 20th, or maybe the 22nd, and I received, notice of that, 2 days prior to the event happening. So what is our SOP is to have a meeting prior to one of these events. At those meetings, we discuss, and we'll have members of the police department there, public works, people who put out the barriers, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody's in on that meeting, and everybody knows about it, but we really didn't have time to have a meeting. And
Okay.
we were not,
right.
and I
Well,
think,
what should we do in the future?
well, we need proper notice.
Okay,
We need-
Memorial Day, I think, is our next one.
Pardon me?
Memorial Day is our next, get-together in the park.
Right.
When should we have this said meeting? We never had one before, but then on the other hand, like I say, we were spoiled with Chris, who's retired now, and, so forth, so,
Yeah, we were spoiled with Chris too, but, the issue is that we do have these meetings behind the scenes.
okay,
We have them all the time.
all right.
So, there's a reason I brought our new community development director here today. Her name is, Marisa Moore, and, Marisa is actually a veteran herself, and she joined the city, this is, her second or third week? Third week. She's into her third week now, and she's still here. How about that one? So, but she is going to be in charge of conducting these meetings. She is also the, CRA manager, and she will have her eyes, along with others in the Public Works Department, on the Veterans Memorial, making sure the Veterans Memorial is up to snuff with regard to landscaping and maintenance and things like that. So she'll be conducting these meetings. We're not only going to do it for our veterans events, but also for any other events that we have, at the park, Clam Bake, anything else, Pelican Island Festival, things like that. So, she'll be conducting those meetings, and, she'll have her list of people to, call together, and certainly that resolution 1412 is going to be adhered to, and, we'll take care of that in the future.
Wonderful. Ms. Moore, we're very happy to have you, on the team.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. To piggyback off of what Joe said, I made a note here that I'm going to put on the calendar these events, so that I can make sure that I get in touch with the appropriate bodies, that will be working with us to get the road closed. Would it be possible if you could also just send a little reminder about 30 days in advance, just to make sure, I mean, it'll be on my calendar, but just to make sure that we coordinate?
Sure.
Does that work?
We can do that.
Okay.
Okay. Just wanted to, establish the new line with new people. Thank you, Mr. Griffin.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, we have, representatives here from the Firehouse Garage who would like to, discuss the, improving the parking area, along the street,
Louisiana, I guess.
Louisiana Avenue.
Hi, my name is Phil Ursuline. I'm president of Firehouse Garage. I spoke to Jerry just briefly. We touched a little bit on the problem with that sand over there. It's been like that even before I even built the place. It was like that. I have pictures of it when I started construction. But I just was talking to him if we can get away, if I would purchase some white rock and put it along the side of the road, if that's okay with y'all, on the west side of Louisiana, between the road and the right-of-way and the poles.
I apologize. Is that within the city right away?
Yes, the city right-of-way. Yeah, 'cause we have too many people that come out of their place and people that come in, that just park over there. I can't control parking. And people that pull into that parking spot and they sink and they get stuck. And we have people from the flea market and my customers, people from Sandy's, they all park there, okay? And it's kind of hard to police all that. I don't have a problem with parking there. They don't either. But I was talking to Jerry, and maybe if I wouldn't mind spending my own money and getting some white rock and laying it across the way there between.
I'm sorry, I'm Frank White, I'm the city engineer. When you say white rock, you mean coquina rock?
No, just regular rock, not coquina rock. Not just, but that term's hard. Just like regular
Peat rock.
septic rock.
Yeah, peat rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, to add to that, Flo, I have talked with Sandy and told her when she has an overflow to tell her people to park in our grassy area.
Right.
At the post to,
Right.
kind of eliminate some of that.
Right, but I'm talking more that quicksand area. I mean, that's been like that since I've been there, even before I moved in.
Could you, give me rough dimensions you're looking at?
I'd have to measure it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'd like to have at least the dimensions to figure out
Maybe
what's what.
25 feet wide, or 20 foot wide, and probably about 30 feet long. Just from their driveway,
Okay.
South of their driveway.
All the way
where
down to your property?
Just halfway, just where it's really soft, because the grass that's there and the dirt is fine. But as soon as you go, like, in the middle of my driveway and to the north, on their side, it's really soft. You know, that's where I wanna put the rock at.
It's roughly 75 feet as
Yeah,
a wild guess.
I don't see an issue, but let us take a look at it first.
Please
before we
do,
commit.
I'd rather ask for
Yeah.
permission than ask for forgiveness, you know what I'm saying?
Let us take a look at it,
Yeah.
and if it looks
Because I don't
fine,
wanna put, he's talking about, crushed asphalt, but that's not good, because it turns into a highway, and then people are just gonna go right around it. I'd rather put that white rock down where it's still kinda like a driveway rock, you know what I'm saying? It'll keep.
yeah. The issue with white rock sometimes, and when people drive on it,
Or if you
debris,
have any suggestions,
it
then.
debris back into the roadway, so it becomes
Right.
more of a nuisance. My suggestion would be more like millings, if you
Okay.
wanna use millings.
So that's what you were saying, millings.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid the millings turns hard, and I was worried about that.
Actually, millings is better, and you can pack it down.
Yeah,
It's
it's even
better
cheaper.
than the rock you're talking about. We prefer to have either like a coquina rock, which is harder.
Okay.
Or a millings.
Okay.
And millings is cheap right now, per tonnage
Perfect.
right now.
If you don't mind looking at it and getting back to me and let me know, and I'll be more than happy to coordinate with him and just get it done,
Okay.
if that's okay with you guys. Is that okay with you guys?
That's fine. As
Trying to
long
be a
as
good neighbor, because
Thank you.
unfortunately, I'm in a non-conforming use where I'm at, okay? Jim Hardy Shells approached me several times to buy his property that's behind me, okay? But since this core 512 corridor has not gone anywhere and somebody's vision is no longer a vision anymore, it's putting a hardship on everybody there, myself, the VFW, and everything there, because I could expand and go east, okay? And not, you look at my parking lot, look at my grass, look at my trees, look at my landscape. For an auto repair center, I think I got one of the prettiest yards that you can get with the trees and by keeping everything maintained. So I've approached, I think it was Dory, to see into it. No one's gotten back to me. And I would hate to pass up the opportunity to where if I can purchase that property and expand a parking lot behind me and not have that problem.
Just in defense of Dory too, when I was in the planning department, they are aware of it. There's some other issues involved. You understand?
I understand that, yeah, but I'm just letting you know that I'm not trying not to do anything about it. I'm trying to be a good neighbor. I am a business in this community, and I think I'm, unfortunately, I can't blame myself for being I'm not saying I am 100% successful, but I'm just saying I'm out of room, okay? Unfortunately, I didn't think I was gonna be this big, and it is what it is. But I'm trying to be a good neighbor to the people across the street as well, and see what we can do.
Again, let us take a look at it. We'll get back to you.
That'd be great.
Okay,
Gentlemen, if
great.
you have any problems, just let me know. Like I said, I'd be more than happy to help you guys out.
We sure appreciate your coming in and
Yeah.
sharing with us.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
I'm sorry, and I'm a jarhead, so I'm also a vet.
Okay,
God bless you guys.
thank you.
Yeah, see ya.
Thanks, Lou.
All right. Okay, Barney Goodman, you have, a report from the, County, Veterans Advisory Council.
Yes, I have actually 3 items that I want to bring forth today. In reference to the Veterans Council of Indian River, we have had a meeting with the court system, Indian River County court system, in reference to what they call the Veterans Court. This is a program that is pretty much statewide, and it's been used in Brevard County, and it's doing very well in West Palm Beach, and also down in Port St. Lucie. The plan was put in here, but apparently it really hadn't go, so they had a meeting to see if they could improve and encourage the Veterans Plan, Court Plan. Judge Cox is the judge that's been appointed to handle the Veterans Program, and specifically, it retains only for veterans, and it's supposed to be administered by veterans on it. And it has to do mainly with misdemeanors and non-serious felonies. We have a list, if that's needed, as to what they can request. And the thing about the system is that the police officer who makes the arrest must agree that the veteran can go to the Veterans Court. It's not just something that they can push off on him without having the police officer's approval on it. And then when it gets to the Veterans Courts, they have set up specific services involved, what they call presence in courtroom, includes Veterans Health Administration, Veterans Justice Outreach Specialists, and volunteer veterans mentors. And one of the areas that they really would like help in is in the mentor area. They're looking for veterans who are willing to mentor these persons who have been charged with these misdemeanors or whatever the charges may be on it. The idea of the program is to reduce community expenses. The justice-involved veterans often cycle between jails, shelters, mental health units, day talks, and emergency room are still ill-served by crisis systems. The solution is to provide immediate access to care through VA services so veterans can stop using Medicare and other community-based resources and save the taxpayers' dollars. There is quite a write-up in it in the Veterans Voice out of Brevard County, but I just wanted to let the city be aware of the fact that this court system is being reestablished and being pushed, and if we do have a lot of veterans in Sebastian area and the surrounding area, and this program would be beneficial for them. The next item I have is concerning the school system and the Veterans in the Classroom program in the school system. Mr. Puso and myself and other members of the Veterans Council had a meeting with the school administrator and all the school principals of Indian River County. We presented the program to them. We have a three-phase type of program. We have a program, and I'll do it just briefly, but in Veterans Day, we have a program honoring veterans. It's a 50-minute program, including DVDs, in which we honor our veterans. We have also, on Memorial Day coming up, we have the Memorial Day program in the school, 50 minutes. Again, this is honoring those who gave their lives in the service of their country on it. And then our program that we push very heavily in the system, and it goes year-round, is the Americanism program. And this is a program that we present to the middle school, the elementary and the middle schools particularly, in which we honor our country. And what we do, we have a Pledge of Allegiance and what it means. We have a DVD, the Red Skeleton on that. We have a, Ms. Puso talks about it. We have the U.S. flag code and myths, which a lot of people, there are 10 myths that they are misunderstood by the public. And we have our national anthem, and we talk about the War of 1812 and the history of Francis Scott Key and the national anthem. We then have a students' question and answer program in which the students can answer the veterans, and we will normally, besides our instructors, have a couple of veterans on hand who have served, sometimes combat veterans involved on it, because we get some unusual questions from the students, to say the least, on it. And following that, we have just implemented a new Americanism, what the American flag means on it. And then we do a folding of the American flag as done at all military ceremonies. And it's surprisingly, this is very popular among the young students. We get them up there, we show them how the flag is folded and what the ceremony means into a military funeral service, and then we let them do it. And depending on the time, we get the kids, 4 kids up there each time, and they do it, and it gives them a better understanding of what our American patriotism system is. So that program is working. It has been approved for the county, and all the principals, all they have to do is give us a adequate notice, and we will supply a crew to go to the particular schools. I am proud to say that North County, Sebastian Middle School, Sebastian Elementary School, and the other schools in this area have had this program for several years. And we were ahead of the rest of the county, but it is now going into the southern part of the county also. The final item I have is, I've handed out a handout on it, one word misspelled, but sorry about that. But I want to read it to you and just emphasize this is an opportunity, and Joe, this is something that we really look to you for is a proposed military museum on the American Legion Post 189 at Sebastian, Florida. Lee Doobie, a retired veteran, and he is very well versed on veteran affairs, proposes to move to Sebastian from Torrington, Connecticut. His fully housed military history museum with no cost to the citizens of Sebastian. The proposed building and land of American Legion Post 189 are spoken for. The cost of moving will be covered by Mr. Doobie. So there is no cost that we're asking the city to be involved in, except we do need it. Len Doobie will be selling his property in Torrington this summer and wants to move the museum to Sebastian then on it. It has a fully housed museum up there. It has mannequins with the military from the Revolutionary War forward. And incidentally, if you are interested in that, you can go to YouTube, the City of Torrington Military Museum, and you'll see what a 12-minute video on what they do actually have there on it. So we are asked the City Council for assistance, non-monetary, in achieving this move and settlement on American Legion property for the City of Sebastian military display. And I'd like to have the recommendation of the board to pass this on to our city manager and on to the City Council. I'd like to make a motion that this paper be in form of a motion to the City Council and to our city manager.
Is there any discussion? Do we have a second? Second. Now, do we have any discussion? Do I have, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, it's so passed. Ms. Griffin, will you be kind enough to, submit that to the city council?
I will, I'll put this on the agenda
Thank you.
for the 13th of April meeting. It will be a representative from the council will be there to ask questions from the council if they have any.
We can do that.
This is the 13th of April,
Yes, sir.
and this is the veterans meeting or
No, it's a city council
City
meeting,
council.
regular
City
city
council.
council meeting that begins at 1800.
Okay.
We have, a building, I guess it's a double wide, modular home where they're tearing them down on the other side of the, Catholic church. The fellow has promised to donate one of those buildings if we can get approval.
Yeah, I think, Joe, that really what the important end of it is that the city makes us available whatever permits and necessary things that the city requires, because we went through this before when we did add it on to the American Legion building, and we need the city's help on that. The financial end of it seems to be well taken care of.
What kind of help, sir? I mean, I'd like to see this happen, but, obviously, it's got to conform to the building code and
I understand.
jump through those fiery hoops, and then we can get the thing done. But I mean, I'll try to help you any way I can. I'd like to see it happen also. So.
All your help will be appreciated, thank you.
It will.
Okay.
My understanding, Mr. Griffin, is that he has to move this thing fairly fast to get it out of Connecticut.
Yeah, he is.
Not the city up there is gonna take it on.
He is moving out, he's selling his property up north, he's becoming a permanent resident here in Sebastian, and he's selling his property up north and all these things, and so it is really kind of have-to-do situation, if we can get it here.
If can have somebody from the the committee here, or at that 13th meeting, 13th
Okay,
of April.
we'll have,
We'll have him here.
I get, council to give me direction to, get it done, I'll get it done.
thank you very much, we appreciate that. We appreciate the expediting of that date too, getting it on the agenda. All right, is there anything else, on your list, Mr. Barney?
No, sir, that is all. I think I've
Okay,
said
Jerry
enough for
Keeler, you
today.
have anything else on your list?
Nope.
Okay, Mr. Puzo?
Yeah, just one thing I'd like to, bring forward to, bring everybody up to date on. The Sons of the American Legion, Squadron 189, 2 years ago, instituted a program called Operation Remember Our Heroes, whereby we are placing grave markers and flags on every veteran's grave in the Sebastian, River area. We have successfully completed work at Brookside Cemetery. We are finishing up Winter Beach. We have plans to go into Gifford Cemetery, and we are planning on starting Sebastian Cemetery between Memorial Day and Veterans Day to hopefully get that done. Year to date, we have marked over 250 veterans' graves, almost 300 graves now. And we're expecting about another 200 more out of Sebastian Cemetery because we know there's a lot of veterans there. So is there anybody in particular that I can have my people contact from the city to find out that, we're not stepping on anybody's toes?
It would be our city clerk, Jeanette Williams.
Okay,
Her phone number is 388-8214
right, okay.
or 8215.
All right,
And, she will be able to, she takes care of the cemetery.
okay,
There is a cemetery attendant, a sexton out there, Kip, Kelso, so,
Yep.
but Jeanette is the first one, that should be your point of contact.
okay, yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Griffin, do you have anything else that you'd like to add? Or Jerry, I'm sorry?
One thing, Wayne, I would personally like to say thank you to you, Mr. Griffin, as well as our city council for the sewer that, we're gonna soon start enjoying. I know you guys worked hard to get that for us, and believe you me, the American Legion is really thankful for it.
I think it's a great project, and, I'd like to be there for the ceremonial flush, so,
We'll see that you get there.
I have one.
We will be sure that you are invited.
Yes.
I have one other item in the area of thank you. I want to thank the Sebastian Police Department, Chief Michelle, for allowing us to have a police escort with the honor guards when we go from the area where the honor guards meet to the area where they are doing their service on it. And on behalf of the veterans and that honor guard, we say thank you, Chief, for it.
Okay. Now, Mr. Griffin, do you have anything else that you'd like to share with us?
just one other thing, fortuitously, Ms. Moore is here because, we've made some changes to the Veterans, Memorial, and I hope everybody has realized that. New flagpole, new concrete, for the flag bearers to stand and sit, and, for the stands and things like that. If there are any other things, please take a look at that, and we would like another set of eyes just on that memorial from time to time, just to make sure things are up to snuff. But, as far as connectivity, one of the things that I want to get going here, hopefully before the next budget year, or very early on into the next budget year, is on the south side fence going into the, Veterans Memorial. I'd like to have a sidewalk there and all disabled parking along there, probably about, what could we get there, Frank? Maybe 10 disabled parking spaces, something like that, for better connectivity for our disabled veterans and their families. So, it's one of the things that I'm working on, I want to see get done, hopefully, pretty soon, before the 1st of October, if I can pull it off, but, that's just one of the things we're looking at.
That sounds awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And having been, the recipient of the chairs that the park has set out for us on that concrete slabs for the, rifles and the flag, line, all I can say is thank you. Ms. Moore, we appreciate all the effort and the time that, the parks put out on our behalf when we have activities out there. It sounds like small things, but it really is big things to some people who are in their late sixties, seventies, eighties, and older, to be able to, stand on firm ground and have a seat when they don't have to be standing, particularly when the wind that comes across there steadily. It makes it possible for them to participate, better than they had been able to in the past, when some of them having had to stand on rough ground, almost pass out in the heat and the wind and, so forth. So it really does help us. We appreciate it. Okay? If there's, is there anything else that you'd like? Yeah.
I have one thing. I was out at the memorial earlier today, and the flags that are, the cloth flags that are stuck in the ground, who maintains those?
You're talking about at the circle?
Yeah, at the
To
memorial.
my knowledge, the city is the one that puts them out there.
Okay,
No? I know we don't do it.
okay. Then I will get with Public Works.
When we've come in, they've just been there, so we have assumed that the parks,
Yeah.
people have been doing it, but, I don't have an answer for you for sure.
Okay, I'll figure it out.
All
All right,
right.
thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is our next meeting, which is the 6th of June. It's the beginning of Ramadan. Is there any reason that we cannot, have our meeting?
It's also D-Day.
Well, this is the afternoon.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
And that is D-Day at Normandy and Omaha Beach.
Yeah, I realize that, but, those ceremonies are earlier in the day, are they not?
Yes, probably. I don't know what is.
Okay.
Barney, are you landing at Sebastian Beach? With the flotilla?
Con
No.
permiso.
Okay, then we will have our meeting, on the 6th of June unless, we otherwise, notify everybody, okay? All right? As chairman of the committee, I call this, for a, motion for adjournment.
Motion.
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, meeting is adjourned.
Very good.